The Purge franchise seemed to come to a close with the Forever Purge back in 2021, but it also seems like the fans are in for yet another night of lawless chaos and bloodshed. Why? Because a new Purge film might just be in the works. Let's get into all the tea Purge creator James DeMonaco has revealed about the 6th installment in the franchise. Is a 6th Purge film in the making? For those of you who don't know, the Purge franchise focuses on a world where the government sanctions a 12-hour period once every year where any and all criminal activity, including murder, arson, and assault, for example, are legal.
The killing itself and the violence itself, it's really the social commentary that is the backbone to this entire story. So it's a huge responsibility to be the two people.
All the films in the franchise follow different characters as they navigate the situation and try to survive the night. But of course, it's not as easy as it sounds. The Forever Purge was the 5th and what we were told to be the final film in the franchise is set in the year 2048 in a dystopian America. The Forever Purge follows a Mexican couple on the run from a drug cartel that they were previously part of. But this is where the confusion starts. The 5th film ends on a pretty hopeful note, with American citizens rising up against the Purgers, indicating that this once-a-year night of horrors might actually come to an end. Ending on a note like this, many fans were hopeful that the Purge franchise would make one final comeback. And it seems like James DeMonaco has the same opinion. The screenwriter has recently gone on to confess that he might have one more Purge story left to write. And hey, we're all for it. DeMonaco revealed that the idea came to him while he was doing press promotions for the 5th film. And while the project hasn't actually been greenlit, he's pretty hopeful about the whole thing. But wait, what will the 6th film be about? The end of the Purge. In the case that the 6th film is made, DeMonaco has a pretty good idea of what it will look like. And guess who's completely on board with his ideas?
Good. That's mine too.
I get a lot of sleep, and I box and kind of run a little bit, but nothing crazy.
Red wine leads to sleep.
Red wine
good. It kind of all helps.
Just a glass of red wine a day and a lot of olive oil and stuff. I'm Italian, so yeah.
None other than the star of the show, Frank Grillo. The actor went on the record to talk about how he and DeMonaco are committed to bringing one more Purge film to the world. And so far, the story goes, Grillo confirmed that James does, in fact, have the script already. The potential 6th Purge film is going to be all about the Sergeant, so Grillo will have plenty of screen time if it's made. According to the actor, both he and James are in talks with Universal Studios to see if they can pull this off before it's too late. And if you thought that was exciting, wait till you find out what DeMonaco has had to say about the story. The Purge 6 will be unlike any other Purge movie. Of course, the final film in any franchise takes the stakes as high as possible, and that's exactly what DeMonaco wants to do with a 6th Purge film. But what inspired him to pick up the pen once again, especially after he thought he was done with the franchise? Well, the answer to that might surprise you.
I always say that I would fly back to Mexico to be in a safe place. Can you believe that, guys? But if for some reason I'm stuck here.
The director and screenwriter confessed that the events of the January 6th United States Capitol attack are what inspired him to take the story of the Purge forward. But wait, what does that mean? For those of you who don't know, on January 6th, 2021, a mob stormed into the US Capitol, breaching its security and causing damage to the property. This kind of discord in the country is what forced DeMonaco to write a sequel to the 5th Purge film. But was everyone else on board with the whole thing? The producers loved the idea of a 6th film. DeMonaco pitched the idea to Jason Blum and Sebastian K. Lemercier the very next day. With their encouragement, he went ahead and pitched to Peter Kramer at Universal Studios. And let's just say everyone loved the idea. In DeMonaco's own words, all of them told him to go write it, and that's exactly what he did.
The country's soul is at stake, so she's steadfast in her message that we must end it to save our souls. Leo's gone through some redemption, and he's changed his character, and now he's on the side of the senator, and he's seen the dark side of the Purge. As someone who
DeMonaco made sure to center the story around Grillo's character, who obviously is a fan favorite after his appearance in Anarchy and Election Year. The director claimed that Leo's return is bound to be exciting for the fans. But why is that so? That's because the story will take place after a time jump. That's right, the 6th Purge film will take us 10 to 15 years into the future after the events of the Forever Purge.
He says it happens to poor people, and yes, that's very sad. Poor people die in this evening, but the violence never comes to our gated community we're all protected here, so everyone stays away because you can't kill anyone in these gated communities. Everyone's very protected. So
as we enter the movie, America will be a completely new country, inhabited and ruled by very different people. And where does Leo fit in all this? Well, for that, you'll have to wait for the movie to actually come out. But if there's one thing that DeMonico can reveal, it's the fact that this final film will feel like a brand new world. And that's bound to be exciting. And in the wake of all this excitement, Grillo also had some major praise for his director. But what did Grillo have to say about DeMonico? According to the actor, he's all set to come back to the Purge franchise and reprise his role as Leo. And the reason why he won't even hesitate before doing so is his love and respect for DeMonico. Grillo went on to talk about how DeMonico has pretty much changed his life, giving him his big break in the franchise. The actor also talked about how DeMonico helped him solidify his status in Hollywood as an actor who could very well carry an action film, and that's something he'll never take for granted.
I mean, for me, I started acting when I was 13, so I've been trying to play around in all different kinds of genres of making movies. I'm not that good of an actor.
However, he did have one more thing to add. Despite all his happy memories associated with the franchise, the 6th film will probably be it for Frank Grillo. If the franchise does continue after that, he's respectfully announced that he won't be a part of it anymore. The actor did go on to say that he's definitely committed to the 6th film. In fact, he might even be coming on board as a director alongside DeMonico because he has so many ideas of where to take the story. How cool would that be? Not to mention that this might also be the start of Grillo's actual career as a director. So, while his exit from the franchise does make us sad, it also opens up a world of possibilities for the projects that the actor can star as a part of. After all, the Purge movies definitely did give his career the boost that it needed. And speaking of that, have you ever wondered why the Purge franchise has been so successful? The politics of the Purge. The truth is that the Purge movies combine entertainment with real-life political commentary.
Rebuilding that, guys. I don't know if you remember your positions.
So we're here.
And that's what makes them so enjoyable. You see a world very similar to your own, just way more violent and dangerous. Naturally, makes the audience want to see more. So it's safe to say that the premise of the franchise has gotten people curious in all the right ways. It's definitely a formula that works. From race and class differences to nationalism and democracy, the Purge movies address some of the biggest problems in the world right now, while still adding an element of fiction and suspense to them. And with so many films already in the franchise, the Purge movies make for a pretty great binge-watching session because, well, you just can't stop watching one after the other. And most importantly, the franchise does make you wonder, if the Purge was real, what would you do? That was all we know so far about the final Purge film. See you in the next video.